that reminds me of how many Bible verses we've heard people and prophets and those who have stood in front of God naked, falling prostrate onto the floor and saying, just use me. And when we say, listen, here I am, here's all the drag, it's leaving to the side, and will you still be able to use me? And what I love about this night, y'all, we get to celebrate, especially within me. I am a human cross-sectional coming together of pride and freedom. Listen, my t-shirt says it all. We're breaking every chain. We're celebrating the freedom to really be who I'm called to be. That's why this week is so important, where we get to celebrate the pride of authentically living who you are. See, a lot of us have not had that freedom to be fully out and beautiful the way you are. I said this in the office today. It was very interesting because I realized my shoes, these are my pride shoes here. You like them? These are my pride shoes. And I wear them once a year. I've had these pride shoes for about 6 years. I wear them once a year, and then they go back into the closet. Some people got that. But it really is true. I bring them out one time of the year, and then boom, they're back in the closet. Anyway, but there's no putting me into the closet. And I remember how important it was for me to celebrate all aspects of who I am. When I was in Florida, that was very challenging. I had congregants come and tell me, well, you're especially during Black History Month, well, you're really talking a lot about Black history. And my reply would be, well, I'm Black, and it's history, and it's your history. So I speak from transparency, all the things that I've gone through to bring me to who I am, to freely say I'm a Black queer minister on a pulpit, to be able to speak my truth. See, I truly believe this. If I'm not free to speak authentic from my voice, then you're not going to hear me. You're not going to hear what I'm here to give you, what I've been called to give you. So why do we celebrate Juneteenth? These are my little notes that I put down here. Reason why I celebrate Juneteenth is because we are absolutely marking June 19th, 1965, that went through the last enslaved ancestor got the information that they were free. Now, they weren't all freed at that time. In fact, there were different things they called the sharecropping came out of enslaved ancestors, where the master of the house would give you a certain bit of land, and they say, we'll give you this amount, but you have to work it off. So you would share the crop, and somehow they never seemed to work it off. So they stayed enslaved. Also, after June 19th, the slave catchers became policemen. So they would find African-American people, those who were enslaved, to put them back in slavery, put them in jail. So they would build the railroads. They would build different things. The White House was built by enslaved people and carried on. So freedom took a while, and it's still taking a while. You can see where we still have a lot of work to do. But it's also, I'm honoring my ancestors, the resilience of the ancestors that made it through not just enslavement, but how about the Middle Passage? How about being taken from their land, brought over to a strange land, and saying, we want you to work. It wasn't even, we need you to work, we want you to work. So I'm honoring my ancestors and their resilience and their spiritual wisdom. I know for a fact the way I speak and the way I teach is because of my ancestors. My grandfather was a minister. My brother's a minister. In fact, all the men in my family are either ministers or morticians, and some are both. My brother's a mortician, he's also a minister. But I am grateful for my ancestral roots. I am so grateful. We celebrate pride, so we have the freedom to live out loud authentically. And yes, right now there is this movement to whitewash and to put people back in the closet, but I'm here to tell you it ain't going to happen. You can't put this back in the closet. In fact, when I came out, I burnt the closet. So there is no closet for me to go back in. But we want to honor our LGBTQA plus ancestors that are no longer with us but paved the way. If you hear the story, if you don't know the story, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, my friend Christine Pena, Reverend Christine, is going to give you a little bit of history on Stonewall, and I'm going to actually give the talk. We're doing something very, very important here, which I am so grateful. We're starting our LGBTQA plus ministry, and we're calling the Love Plus Ministry. And Reverend Christine is leading the way. And the reason why we're doing this, because we're still feeling marginalized, put into the closet. And I always say this, not until everyone's free will we all be free. So we have to be able to create a space where all of us can come and fully understand that there is nothing wrong with us, y'all. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with whoever comes to this door. We are not a throwback in the bunch. We are the God emanation. We are the divine presence. We are the divine source itself that says, show up uniquely, yes? And that's why we're here. That's why we celebrate women's history. That's not the only thing we celebrate. It's not just Black history and gay history. We celebrate women's history, our Hispanic Heritage Month. We celebrate that here on a Wednesday night. We're doing it all. The Asians, we just got y'all in the bunch. It was all, but look at Doreen. She's raised her hand in the back because, part of the Island Pacific family, they're all here. We're here to celebrate. We are the dichotomy of where we should be living. We are the example. We are the example. You have that shirt on tonight, says love wins. I truly believe that love wins. Someone else has a shirt on that says love is love is love. Did I see who's wearing that shirt tonight? Love is love. There it is. Love is love is love. Period. Oh, it's one in the back there. Love is love, period. Because we have to stop seeing shades of color, shades of brown. We have to stop seeing sexuality. I'm not telling you not to embrace it and fully celebrate it, but it shouldn't matter. Yes? It shouldn't matter. When we start to tap into the space of love, it doesn't matter. How are we going to heal this planet, y'all? We're going to go past what our line eyes is seeing and drop into what our eternal hearing and ears and eyes are seeing. That's where we need to tap into. I want to give you a couple of quotes here, which is very, very important. These quotes are from people that I absolutely love and I read on a constant basis about healing this planet. Number one, Ernest Holmes says this. And we're talking about healing the planet with the 5 Ds. We'll talk about the 5 Ds in a moment. But the 5 Ds are something that I use for my own healing and my own transformation, that I believe it is so important that we look at this of how we can heal this planet. This is what Ernest Holmes says this. I love this quote. Healing consciousness is a consciousness that recognizes the spiritual perfection of the universe and refuses to see anything less. Let me ask you a question. When you look at somebody that you might not like, do you see the spiritual perfection in that person? No. This is where we get to put on, I'm just being honest, most people are going, no, I don't see the spiritual perfection. So we have to see beyond what we see. Here's what I love about Ernest Holmes. Ernest Holmes is so dope. I love me some Ernie. And he really said this. He refuses to see anything else in anybody else other than the divine perfection. One of his best friends is someone who actually designed the very first Founders Church, and that was Paul Revere Williams. Look him up, y'all. We've actually did a video on him, and he came into the community the first time he was coming to the church, and someone called him the N-word and said, "You're not welcome here." And Ernest Holmes went, "Not what? Not in my house." He stood up for this man who was so talented. Paul Williams has created so many different things that you probably didn't even know. He created LAX. He helped to design LAX. He designed so many different buildings. Oh my goodness. But Ernest Holmes saw beyond the skin color and saw the love. Now, he didn't deny that his brother was of African descent. And he told us, don't deny that, but it shouldn't matter. One of my teachers, Howard Thurman, says this, because we're asking you to find the fire within you to go change this planet. And Howard Thurman says this, don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go and do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel alive when you think about a world that works for everyone? Are you willing to go out and stand up for a world that works for everyone? Then if you are, that's what we are called to do, because the other way feels like we are dying a slow death. And I am ready to come alive and work for a world that works for everyone. If you don't know who this poet, this divine, incredible diva, her name was Audre Lorde. You got to look her up. Poet. She was a black lesbian and activist. She was a warrior. She stood up for sacred activism. She wrote this. I love this. I am not free while any woman is unfree, even when her shackles are very different from my own. Check that out. She's like, we're all in chains. You might have a different color shackle that I have on, but until those chains are broken, breaking every chain, that's what we're here to do. Will we all be free? If one person is in chains, we're all in chains. So I want to talk to you about the 5D, and we're going to meditate on this. And I create the 5Ds, and you can read a little bit more about this. You've been hearing about this book that's coming out. It's really coming out. It's really coming out very, very soon. We're just putting the final touches on this and all the things we got to do. But I write about the 5Ds, and the 5Ds came from a place I wanted to be aware of. What were the different things I was doing to transform my life? Because I was going through this really deep movement. I was right in the point of giving up ministerial school. And I was like, I don't want to go through the hassle of getting through school. But I realized, okay, what's going to keep me going through ministerial school was my 5Ds or something. And I prayed and asked God, show me, what am I doing and what's going to get me through this? And the 5Ds came through prayer meditation. The 5Ds was a way that I could really develop a way of continuing forward to transform not my life, not only my life, but the life of many clients. So here are the 5Ds. Drive. Drive is the core energy that is moving you to transform. So in your own personal life, what is the intention? What is the passion? What is the purpose of your transformation? See, here's the story, y'all. We all want to make a change because when the shift is hitting the fan, there's a change that's seeking to emerge. We all want to shift into a better life. If you want to stay right where you are in your misery, go ahead, have at it. You're welcome to it. But I know for me, I want to create a life that's better for me. I don't want to stay in, I always say this, what happens when a baby is in a dirty diaper? What does the baby do? We're all in the middle of our dirty diapers right now. Isn't it time to change the dirty diapers? America is in a dirty diaper right now. Isn't it time to change the dirty diaper? Let the shift go. I said shift. Let it go. But the drive is what's driving you. It's your intention. It's your why. It's your purpose. It's your passion. If you don't have passion in your life, you're dead spiritually. We got to get a passion. And so when we look at this world that works for everyone, we get to look at what's driving that? What would a world that feels like that works for everyone? Here's the truth, because our teaching teaches this. There's only one of us in the circle. There's only one of us in the world. There's only one of us. So when I shift in the collective, the rest of the collective shifts within us. So there's only one of us. So everything I do affects the collective. So that's a drive right there. I am not my brother's keeper. I am my brother. I am not my sister's keeper. I am my sister. And once I get that in my head, that's driving me to create a world that not just works for me, that works for everyone. Here's the reason why we're having so much chaos in this world. I truly believe this, because we have a group of people who want to get theirs and telling everyone else, you don't have any, sorry. I'm going to get mine. I'm going to go out and build a golf course for billionaires, but you can't have any of that, and that ain't going to happen. I'm digressing. But what is your passion? Why do you want a world that works for everyone? Number 2, your dedication. This movement, it requires people to be dedicated. Dedicated to what? Dedicated to love. We must be dedicated to love. We must be dedicated for love. We must be warriors of love. And when we say dedication, we say committed. See, what are you committed to? Are you committed to, and listen, I believe that money is a demonstration of exchange of energy. It is a promissory note for exchange of energy. But if money is your only reason for doing something, it's not sustainable. What are you dedicated to? Getting your pocket filled or making sure everyone has part of the lovely energy of God? I know I want to be dedicated for everyone to have that experience of being completely held and supported and prosperous. When we talk about dedication, we have to talk about we're aligning to a daily practice. And what is our daily practice, y'all? The daily practice is prayer, meditation, gracious giving, service. It is the time that we show up. We are dedicated to creating a community. So when we open up the store next week, the place is filled. There's a place for people to come and find love. We're dedicated to each other, to loving each other. We're dedicated to listening to sacred music and listening to our brother and sharing that love. That is what we're dedicating ourselves to. That's a higher call than dedicating to making the next buck. And let me tell you, you can clap for that, because let me tell you, the buck comes and the buck goes. The buck will come and the buck will go. But when we are dedicated to something greater than that, then our life becomes fulfilled. We find our purpose. The next D is determination. I love this one. Determination is, I call it the stick-with-itism. The stick-with-itism, that we are not going to give up until we see it working for everyone. This is the bodhisattva energy. If you don't know what a bodhisattva is, a bodhisattva, it's a Hindu god that decided to come to the planet to save everyone, and decided that this energy or this god or this presence, this bodhisattva, would not leave until everyone's saved. Determination requires a bodhisattva heart space. Kuan Yin was a bodhisattva. The energy of Kuan Yin is making sure that everybody is being healed. Everyone's coming to the table. Everyone is invited. Inclusivity. That's what the determination that we're staying with. I have this energy of resilience. This is a great note. Can you imagine how determined after 200 and some odd years of slavery, of being enslaved, was the determination of our black brothers and sisters? Can you imagine? Can you imagine the determination of the suffrage movement, of women who could not vote? And the women said, no, we're going to march. We're going to not eat. We're going to stand for our sisters. And the funny thing about the women's history is they wouldn't let the black women come in to work with the white women until it was Harriet Tubman that shifted that whole entire movement. Can you imagine the determination? Y'all can vote now. Well, I'm hoping y'all can still vote. Just saying. But understanding how important that was to stick with it. The next D is discipline. And that word's a little kind of shaky for some people when you say discipline. So I'm going to give you a B word with this D word. How about discipline to bliscipline? The discipline is showing up in a community. The discipline is showing up to the uprising. The discipline is praying every single day. Are you doing your prayer for the planet? Are you doing your prayer for the people? That's the discipline. And once you fall in love with the work you're being called to do, you find the bliss. And then you can now call it bliscipline. Because you are so excited with the world that you are creating. Discipline. The last D is direction. And I love this. It reminds me that no matter where I'm going or no matter where the world's going, I got to keep my mind on the prize. It's very easy to forget, Jamie. It's very easy to forget, Corey. It's very easy to forget that I believe that was part of the issue why we're kind of in the place that we're in right now, because we got lazy. We got comfortable. We fell asleep. And now we got to think about, what does the world look like that works for everyone? We got to keep our minds on the direction. You know that old saying that says, where your energy goes or energy grows, it flows. Wherever it flows, it grows. What you put your mind on. See, a lot of us are stuck in CNN, constantly negative news. And our mind, and when we see that and we give the power to that thing that we don't like, guess what happens? It grows. We got to keep our mind on a world that works for everyone. Inclusivity, love, peace, oneness. That's what we're called to keep our mind on. That's the direction that we're going to. I want you to just take a moment, just breathe. I want you to remember that I believe that change is possible. Do you? Do you believe that we can really create a world that works for everyone? If you truly believe it, that's where our consciousness, because everything that we're talking about comes from consciousness. Science of Mind 101, consciousness creates form. Demonstration always follows consciousness. And where we are right now, we're being called to shift our consciousness. Hold on, family. Hold on. Keep it close to you. Do your spiritual work. A change is coming. A change is coming. A change is coming. Let's meditate. Stick our hands and just rub our hands together in the praying hands. And bring this sacred mudra of prayer to our heart center, right at the sternum. Relax our shoulders. From this deep space of prayer, we are grateful for the awakening. The awakening that something good is happening here and now. And we might not see it with the external eyes, but our internal eyes see it. And our soul believes it, knows it. It is it. So from this space of goodness, we simply say yes. We say yes. We say yes to a world that works for all beings. From the space of the yes, I invite us to seal this deal with the sacred Om tonight. Take a breath. Release your breath first. Now let's inhale for an Om. Inhale. And so it is. And so we shall be. Ashe. Aho. Namaste.